Two video series CPGM. We're gonna break down all the franchises, talk about the past, the present, their future. So right now we're doing the Miami Dolphins. Undefeated 72 Miami Dolphins.
Larizak and them boys.
Those are the good days, man.
Mercury Morris.
Yeah, all those
pop
guys.
champagne though.
I just want to say I wasn't born back then. I don't know nothing about it, but all right.
We weren't here, but Don Shula had a great run. As head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That was their glory year. They won 2 Super Bowls out of 5 appearances. And then Dan Marino, the quarterback of their franchise. He didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were very good. They were consistent.
Greasy was a winning quarterback.
Yeah, back in the 70s and stuff. But Dan Marino was the last great quarterback they had, and it's been a quarterback carousel ever since Dan Marino left. I have the names. Can I say something?
Yeah, second names.
These were the leading passers since Dan Marino.
I don't want y'all to listen now. Listen, because these are some sexy names. Go ahead.
Jay Fiedler.
Yeah.
AJ Feely.
Yeah.
Gus Farrar. Joey Harrington. Cleo Lemon. You remember Cleo Lemon?
Yeah, I remember Cleo Lemon.
Who that is. Chad Pennington. Chad Henne. Matt Moore. And Ryan Tannehill.
Pat White's not on that list?
Well, he probably played for them. These are the passing leaders
for the team.
I was being facetious. Go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of other quarterbacks also.
Yes.
So these are just the passing leaders. So, there's been a quarterback carousel, and, one thing from the Dolphins, so moving into the present, now they have Ryan Tannehill for 4 years now. So he's been a consistent presence for the franchise, but him in himself hasn't been as consistent. So,
Yeah. Receiver turn quarterback.
1 year.
He's a talented athlete.
Yeah.
He clearly hasn't mastered playing the position though.
Yeah.
I mean, most guys haven't mastered playing the position, but he had a much steeper learning curve than a lot of guys at the professional level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that may be part of it, and maybe with what you stating that might be it. That may be okay. So he's been there 4 years. This might be the time where he turns it around.
Yeah. And when he first got there, they didn't have the offensive weapons per se, but they slowly got the offensive weapons for him. And I think this is his best supporting cast since being there. Devontae Parker, Jarvis Landry.
The offensive line.
Yes. is really good. So,
tight end.
And they lost Lamar Miller, but, they're going to probably, running back by committee back there. But.
Well, and you mentioned Lamar Miller. That brings to mind the fact that things have changed so much. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, you mentioned all those quarterbacks. Tannehill, while he hasn't been there, a decade, he's probably the most tenured quarterback since the Marino era. Yeah. So you have had ownership changes, you've had front office, you've had tons of coaching changes. They just had the Man Campbell situation, and now they got Adam Gase down there now. You know what I mean? We're talking about Wanstead and this guy, that guy. Parcells came in for a little bit, and he's the one who drafted Pat White, by the way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's been so little consistency around an inconsistent roster that you can't get it right. And what's the difference between the Patriots and all the teams in the AFC East?
Quarterback play. The Patriots had the consistent quarterback every single year. He's going to lace them up, and every other team has it.
You could end this video off that right there. You know what I mean? And even with the Finns, so they made the trade. They acquired Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso, and they made Sue the highest paid defensive player ever. Yeah. You know what I mean? I see splash. I always see splash with Miami. South Beach, whatever the case. But where's the substance? How do they get the substance?
Well, I hope the substance is Ryan Tannehill. If he's the substance, they have a chance. They got a shot. But if he's who we seen him to be.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, what will it take for the Miami Dolphins to get to the playoffs finally?
And we're talking about a new system, too, for Tannehill.
They haven't been to the playoffs since, 2008.
I'm going to say this. I think defensively they'll be okay. But offensively, if they can't consistently run the football, I don't think they have a chance in hell.
And they refused to do it last year.
And I don't know who's going to run the rock. But if they can't do that, I don't see it.
I think Jay Ajay will get the first crack, but after that it's Kenyon Drake, Damian Williams. It's like,
I mean, are they all kind of the same? I mean, maybe for the exception of Drake, are they not all kind of the same running back?
I think Williams is probably more like Drake than Ajayi. I think Ajayi is kind of your in between the tackles guy.
Okay.
But to your point, like for instance, the Lamar Miller situation, for whatever reason, in a contract year, you didn't ride your best player, your best offensive weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't ride him.
Yeah, he had like 220 carry games in his whole career there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense.
He's averaging like 5 yards a carry. Man.
I think though, Gase might be the guy to realize, okay, this is what we want to do. Because even under Philbin, there was just a bunch of coaching changes and this
Bullygate.
Bullygate, firing people just to cover this up and that up, and Gase has kind of been through it. He kind of knows what it looks like. You know what I mean? Philbin came from being a quarterback coach over there in Green Bay.
I think the offensive line coach.
Coach,
and his offensive line was terrible.
Hey.
Something like that.
So you know what I mean?
I could be wrong.
So you got a guy who's been around, who's been on a couple of different actually winning teams and knows what it looks like.
Yeah, and the thing about Gase, the best move he made so far, he brought in Peyton Manning to come help Tannehill. So hopefully,
it'll
that will
translate.
help Tannehill this year.